Episode 3561, When Your Child Disappoints You.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. It's Friday, so it's time to raise the roof. Yes, it's happy dance time. Come on. You can just be normal. Sometimes don't you feel like you're just like strangling yourself because you're trying to be everything to everybody else? But no, today it's Confessions of an Upset Mama when your child disappoints you. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already even had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. You know, as a parent, all you want is for your child to be the best. I mean, seriously, right? That's all we want. In fact, better than us, even though, come on, be honest, we sometimes live vicariously through our children. We'll leave that for another episode, but that's the truth. And we want them to succeed. But what happens when your child disappoints you? What happens when they don't meet the expectations, not of you, but even the standards of living, as in just following the law, maybe? Yeah, seriously. As parents, we invest our hearts and souls into raising our children. We are all in. We dream big dreams for them, and we hope nothing but the best for them. We break our knees down because we're on them so much, praying, saying, Lord, just make this happen. Help me get through this tween stage, wherever I am, right? Or maybe you're stuck in the toddler stage. Maybe you're in the 20 stage. Doesn't matter what stage you're in. We all need to be on our knees. But sometimes our children fall short of our expectations, leaving us feeling disappointed and unsure of how to navigate through these challenging situations. But let me ask you this. Are you defined by your child's actions? Now, I feel like we need to just sit here for a moment. Because I think some people would be very quick to say, oh, yes, go look at some stuff that just happened in regards to school shootings. And the parents were also arrested. Okay, we could go down that road. We're not going down that road. I'm just giving that as an example. We could also go down the road as in your child is playing flag football for the first time or soccer. It's that season. And all of a sudden, your child goes and just pushes another child down. Oh, wait, or maybe your child is the one who bites another child or vice versa, right? Are you defined by your child's actions? What do you think? Some people would say 1,000% yes. Do I think there's a variance? Of course I do. I don't think you can sit here and set this defined line and say this is how it is and this is the only way it can be. But I will say this. What if you're not defined by your child's actions? What if you say, okay, yes, I know I bear the responsibility somewhat of how to raise them, but if they disappoint me because of their actions, like pushing down another kid, getting into a fight, stealing, whatever. I mean, there could be worse situations. Those are just light things. Do they define me too? If you want to rise above the disappointments of your children, you got to live life with your flair. That is your KISS to Keep It Simple strategy. Live your life with your flair. It's not about sitting here going, well, gosh, what should I do with my kiddos? Yes, you've got to be concerned for them. Yes, you've got to help them. Obviously, it's got to be age appropriate, right? If you're dealing with another adult, unfortunately, they're going to have to deal with the real rules. If you're dealing with children and they're in, elementary, middle, high school, depending upon the situation, what it is, there's got to be consequences for those. But, you think about the kid who bit another child. I had an instance where my granddaughter got bit. This grandmama, not so happy. But let me tell you this. That doesn't mean that that child was deliberate. That doesn't mean that the parents are bad. Honestly, there could be some other underlining factors. Is this the first time he bit? Maybe he didn't understand. What was the age difference and the gap? My granddaughter is not quite a year old. I don't know how old this other child was. See, there's a lot of variables. But then we sit back and we're quick to judge other parents. We're quick to point fingers, right? Because it's easier to place blame. And then if it's on the reverse side and our child is the one who acted out or did something wrong, we're like quick to defend. And it's like, well, what is it? What do you do? And then you're like, but you're telling me I have to live life with your flair, like my own flair. Like, what does that even look like? That's a good question. If you know you're not one who says, yeah, you're not responsible for your child's actions, but you have influence. Yes, you do. I would say amen to that. There are times just that parents need to be, I don't want to use the word reprimanded, but disciplined. There needs to be consequences for their own actions because depending upon what is happening in their home and the privacy of your own four walls, that has the majority of influence on your kiddos. And I think that's one thing that we as parents, we need to take responsibility as in our engagement in their lives. Now, I'm not saying that makes you responsible. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying as an influencer on their life, I know everybody hears influencer and they're like, oh, social media. Oh, wow, 1 million viral views. Okay, what if you had 1 million viral views in your own household? And you could figure out what's really going on. And you're like, yes, that happened. Now I can make this happen. Wait, if I did that wrong, but I can do this better. Would that change your family dynamics for the better? I mean, think about that. We are all so bent on wanting to be seen and heard by other people. What about our own family? Seriously, in a genuine, authentic way. I believe that if we would come to the table when we raise incredible kids and we're putting the work in, if we look at it from the perspective of, you know what? I am their greatest influencer. So that means I got to talk the talk, walk the walk. I can't just sit here and let it be just kind of like I'm vomiting and regurgitating things out and I'm not doing anything. It's like, oh, wait, you can't have sugar after 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay, that sounds like a great rule. For me, it's more like I can't have sugar, never. We'll leave that one for another episode. That's a Wednesday one. But if they can't do it, why can you? Now, some parents would be quick to say, well, I'm the adult. I can do anything. Okay, you can go that route. But then is that actually teaching your child what needs to be taught at this particular stage of life? I don't know that answer. You have to answer that. Now, it's different if they're already in bed, they're completely asleep, and you're like, okay, I'm going to have that bowl of ice cream. Are you having a bowl of ice cream, like a scoop? Or are you having like the half a gallon of ice cream? I'm like, seriously? Okay. Think about it. So I do think it's something that we don't talk about much. We don't sit at the table and we don't have these, what I call coming to Jesus moments of saying, gosh, yeah, maybe when my kids disappoint me, maybe I feel less than. Is that really appropriate? Maybe you can be a better parent by the way you parent, but that doesn't mean that their disappointments are a reflection of who you are as an individual. Maybe your skills at parenting, right? So you've got to look at it from all different perspectives. And so when you live life with your flair, you got to focus on, number one, self-reflection and self-care. Take time to, yes, turn the mirrors on you. Process your emotions and your thoughts about the situation. Analyze it. Think, gosh, could I have done something differently? Is there a pattern that I've been doing as a mom or as a dad that I could change that would impact them differently? Maybe it's certain words or phrases. Maybe it's actions, right? So engage in activities that bring you peace and joy. And when you go through the self-reflection and the self-care, right, it's both. You got to care for your mind, body, and spirit. But then you also have to say, okay, what can I do better? Remember, you can only support your child effectively when you take care of yourself first. Now, That doesn't mean you're the lazy parent who's sitting there B-U-T-T. Wait, B-U-T-T. Yeah, that's the right butt. On the couch. And that's all you're doing. You come home, you're like, I'm done. I don't want to be a mom today. Now, I get it. We have moments like that. I'm totally in on that. I even have a grandma moment once in a blue moon. Thank goodness blue moons don't happen very often. But you do get that feeling like, what am I doing here? How did I get myself here? Well, number one, you can't push them back in. Just saying. They just don't float away, man. When you have the babies, they are there for you for the rest of your life. Unless, of course, the disclaimer there is unless you take legal action another way. You relinquish your parental rights, right? That is a way you can say, okay, hands off, I'm done. I can't do this. I would say for most of you out there, you're not doing that, right? You're pushing through. You love your kids. You want to have an incredible family. And in order to do that, you've got to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and take care of yourself at the same time. You've got to be willing to say, okay, this is where I sit. So if you need help, you go get it. And if you're like, gosh, I need rest, then you get it. Number two, seek support from others, like parents, maybe therapists, counselors, coaches. Someone that understands or has the knowledge base of what you need. Don't go seeking support because you just want somebody to tell you, you're doing a great job. That's not seeking support. I've got a great friend, and she and I go back and forth, and it's very interesting because we talk all the time. I mean, when I say all the time. But we do it in a manner that's not necessarily by text. It's by a program called Voxer. So we send these video, or not video, they could be video, but we don't do videos. They're audio chats back and forth. So we get to hear the inflection of the voice, where we sit, the questions we have, the concerns, etc. But you see, the interesting thing is a lot of times, gosh, we've only gotten together in over a decade that I've known her, probably 3 times. I kid you not. And most of the time, what we're doing is, we're focused on supporting each other. But in that support, we're truth tellers. So if we're going to see it as black, we're going to call it black. We're not going to pretend it's white, and vice versa, right? It's not going to be red and we're going to call it purple. It doesn't work that way. We're truth tellers. You cannot. And hear me out. If this is the only thing you get from today's episode, hear me out. You've got to have a truth teller in your life. Someone who tells you the truth in love. Someone who knows you, who you trust, but someone who's not going to sugarcoat everything, right? That 6 o'clock cutoff time. Yeah. No sugar after 6 o'clock. Yeah. There's no sugarcoating your life just because you want to feel great. If that's the kind of person you are, now this is me, right? I'm letting it all hang out here. It's confession day. If that's the type of person you are and that's the support you're looking for, we have a bigger problem. Houston, we have a problem. We have a problem. And I don't want that problem, though, to interfere with you raising your kids. So that's what I would say. Yeah, you need to seek professional therapy. You need help. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I totally believe we all need coaches. We all need counselors. It is vital that when we are struggling, we get the help that we need. But when you do have that support, oh yeah, share your feelings. Seek advice from a trusted friend who can provide you with valuable insights and perspectives, right? Consider consulting even a therapist, a counselor that can help you navigate the tough waters, can help you figure out your emotions. Maybe you have an anger issue and you're like, I really don't. Maybe you have a control issue. That's an anger issue. It all goes together. Oh, no, I don't. I'm here to tell you, if somebody's telling you that you have an anger issue, you most likely have an anger issue. Okay? Why? Because you can't hide anger. Sorry, you just can't. And you can't say, oh, it's just me being firm and stern. That doesn't work that way. There's a way to be emotional, but in a safe manner. And when you get so hot under the collar that you lose control, that you have to be domineering and you have to be the one who says, no, I am king or queen of this house, we have an issue. Okay, that's just another kind of moment here, an extra moment for you. These are hard topics to talk about. No one wants to talk about them. It makes us uncomfortable. It makes us uncomfortable personally. I know when I was going through a lot of crap during our tornado of life, I mean, I did some deep, deep searching. And I wanted to find out where this stuff came from. You know why? Is because I wanted to create a generational gap forever. Yeah, you get it? Everybody talks about generational gaps. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, if we don't do this, there's going to be this. Yeah, but my thing is I want it to end. So I want to have an eternity of a generational gap. I don't want that to continue through my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and on and on and on and on and on. I don't want that to happen. But you see, we don't think about that stuff is passed on. And that's important to understand that. So take it seriously. Take what you see if someone's coming to you. They're not sitting there trying to, just tear you down. They're telling you out of concern, out of love. And if you can't take it that way, then maybe we have another issue. You see what I mean? You see the layers? Life is very complicated. Personalities are very complicated. We could be here, oh dear. It's like, get your pillow, get a great cup of coffee. We're going to be sitting here for a while. We're not going to be today, by the way. But that's how critical it is. And if you can understand who you are and who you are becoming the way God has intended you to become, so when he calls you home, oh, you're ready. It's like, yeah, you did what you were supposed to do. But if you're one who's going to fight it all the time, how can you raise great kids? I'm serious. How can you do it? I think there's an easy answer. You can't. Your children are a reflection of you. I'm not saying that when they disappoint you, that you are them. I'm not saying that. Hear me out. Don't send me those hate me emails. I don't want them. What I'm telling you is that if you see something in your child, you better look within yourself, because it didn't just show up by your child. It just went like, hello, here it is. Nope. A lot of what we do is a learned trait. Now, yes, there are genes that back it up. Don't get me wrong. That's another whole episode we could go into. Genetics plays an important part. But you cannot throw the genetic card out and say, it's just because of that. No, that's called an excuse now. So you can be the one who wants to be that incredible parent who wants to continue to learn, to get better at parenting, to master it. So by the time, hear me out here, by the time you have grandchildren, it's a piece of cake. If only. But one can dream. So you've got self-reflection and self-care. They go hand in hand. You've got to seek that support from others. And then finally, number 3, set boundaries and practice patience. You have got to establish clear boundaries to protect your emotional well-being and maintain a healthy relationship with your child. You've got to communicate your expectations calmly and assertively. That doesn't mean with anger. You can have a firm tone, but you're not domineering. There is a difference. If you have to go over somebody or hold somebody down to have a conversation, that's not right. Okay? Think about it. If you're one who feels like you're getting so hot under the collar, like literally, like you feel the warmth coming up from your stomach all the way up to under your neck, like literally the term hot under the collar, where then all of a sudden you feel your face red, we need to have a conversation. I'm being honest with you. There's some instability there. You're a little bit unstable. And I'm not saying that as a negative. It's a way to awaken your own feelings, to say, okay, wait, I need to be observant of myself too, not just of my child. Oh, yes, you do. And guess what? Most parents don't. And here is the one that gets me the most. Oh, well, my parents did it, so it's all right. They did it to me. I can do it. Really? You get to choose how you raise your kiddos. And if you watch our children, they're actually getting smarter. And I'm going to tell you right now, your kiddos are smarter than you. Watch out. they're already 2 steps ahead. I don't care how old, 1-year-old or 100 years old. Of course, you're probably not alive then, but you get my drift, right? Okay, that's my funny for the day. So communicate your expectations, right? Calmly, assertively. You can have that tone that is a matter-of-fact tone, but it doesn't have to be stapled with anger. And practice patience as you work through the challenges. Remember that it's okay to prioritize what? Your well-being. And set limits to ensure a harmonious environment for yourself and your family. You've got to be able to live within your own 4 walls too. They're your 4 walls. You own them. You get to set those boundaries and those rules. If you have adult children, you have every right to say, these are the rules. If you don't like them, there's the door. Now, that's firm, but that's not angry. And I don't want to be angry right now, so I'm not going to kind of record an angry voice. I haven't really done an angry voice in a very, very long time. I mean, anger, like true hot-blooded anger. Yeah, you really got to push it with me. But let me tell you, I didn't used to be that way. I had to learn it. I had to understand what triggered me. I had to understand my frustrations and where they came from. And no, it didn't just happen overnight. I was groomed by watching others very close to me. But let's go back now to when your child disappoints you. Your child's disappointments have nothing to do with you directly, but indirectly, yeah, they do. They have their own actions, right? They have to own them. Now, I will say that you have, remember, this is your reminder, you have an extreme influence on your children. So depending on their age, right, it's important to look at how you can better parent them so you can be the better parent. And it's not about trying to be best friends with your kids. Can I just say that? Stop trying to be friends with your kids. That is not your job. Your job, your responsibility, even more so, is to parent them, to raise them up to be productive individuals that are going to go out and impact the world that they touch. That you will be sitting back, and when you're old and you've got your BUTT and your little comfy lazy boy recliner, you can say, that's my boy, that's my girl. And you know they're going to make the right decisions because you did well by them now. So really think about what you're doing and how you're raising up your children. How are you training them up? Because how you train them up, that's how they'll go. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit CreateYourNow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.